Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel once again. So today we're taking out the Tier 9 Iowa, the US battleship. This is my third video making of this, and if you haven't guessed it yet, both I love battleships, but in particular I'm really loving my Iowa. So in this one's a bit fun to watch, but it's also kind of an open letter to wargaming. So there's a plague in high tier games, and oddly enough, this video isn't about passive gameplay. No, specifically dealing with tier 9 and 10 battleships. The Yamatos are particularly guilty of this, and I'm sure a lot of you who are veterans already know what this issue is, and it's the nose on. What that is when a battleship, specifically, the Iowa, the Montana,
Battle starts.
and the Izumo and the Yamato, the tier 9 and 10s, just point their nose and use their front two forward-facing guns that can actually come to bear, and you point your nose dead on at the enemy, and you basically stop taking damage, but you retain about 2/3 of your damage output at the exact same time. And so this is a really good example of a time that, like, I really didn't plan on nosing on this one. I hate doing it. I hate other players that do it. But there are some times where you're just so outgunned and so outnumbered that you don't have an option other than to do that or die. I'm sure that's how it came about originally. So we're starting out. I never like going along the edges, so I always head inward towards this map. I'm hoping that some of the enemy team will kind of wander off to the 1 and 2 line on my east over there a little bit, and hopefully I can help support any ships that are trying to cap, and any enemy ships that are trying to also cap. I might be able to have an angle on them, especially coming from this side of the map. A lot of enemy ships right where my target's pointed, right on the other side of that island. They like to just hide behind there and get the cap. So there's an enemy Iowa. Great. It's good to know that he's there. There are two of them, but if I recall correctly on this replay, the other Iowa's on the far other side of the map. Generally speaking, if there's only two of the high tier ones, they're going to be split. They're not going to spawn on the exact same side of the map. That's not to say there aren't any other battleships, and there's certainly going to be a good chunk of their team on this side of the map, but at least I know that the other Iowa is there, and I know that he's coming along, and you can see he's making good progress. He's going full steam ahead. He's trying to do that flank there. But so far, I'm not spotted. And there's an enemy Baltimore. Now, he just got spotted by our teammate. It's a York cruiser off in the to my left there. And now I'm just now spotted by his own spotter plane. I'm not sure if he's actually paying attention. He probably has tunnel vision because he's not even trying to turn as he comes around this corner full broadside. And I'm just gonna... Oh, that's a great dispersion. Bam, there you go. 15,000 damage for your trouble. Thank you very much, sir. You can stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Now he's starting to question his life choices at this point. He is way overextended. Now, unfortunately, I'm giving broadside to this Iowa. Fortunately, he's both a terrible shot and RNG loved me on that one. So I took literally 0 damage from a full broadside on a full broadside Iowa. A lot of luck. I'm not able to punish him, but it looks like somebody else got a nice little shot into him. Awesome. Okay, so he's turning off now, whereas the Baltimore is trying so hard to get out of the way and get away from all of us that he's now giving me a pretty soft target. He's slightly angled, but as with battleships, the back of your ship is much less armored than the front of your ship. And I actually aimed this pretty bad because it's a little too short. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's another 18,000. So I didn't necessarily have to get all of my shells on him, just the right ones. And apparently I did. He's not going to last much longer. I'm not going to waste a full salvo because now I've spotted a second battleship. It's Nagato. Now, you'll hear me rant about the Nagato and how much I absolutely despise that ship. I'm going to shoot this nice Iowa broadside here, see if I can get a good punishing shot on him. Nope, RNG hates me. The Nagato, its guns are crap. They're very powerful, and they're very useful long range, or short range, but at long range, they're woefully, woefully inaccurate. So now that I've got a lot of firepower brunting down on me, and I'm just going to point my nose at them, and I kicked in reverse, and you see this, like, that's 3 salvos now that I've completely dodged because I'm going in reverse. There's nobody else out here to punish me for doing this, nor am I far enough ahead for anyone to flank me and shoot my side while I back up. And I think that's the mistake a lot of battleship players make when they try and reverse, trying to throw people's shots off. So that last one, it did dink off my hull. I still have taken 0 damage. There's an enemy Fubuki. Okay, time to move forward. Plus that little dink that I got earlier that didn't do any damage, they've figured out what my range is. So I'm going forward again. They fired, and most of those shells are flying right back behind me. They finally scratched my paint a little bit, but you know what? I think I can sleep okay tonight. Now, I know that Fubuki's there. And I already changed directions drastically. You see how that works? It just don't go in straight lines. It's that simple. I completely ignored that Fubuki because I have multiple cruisers and a destroyer nearby. They'll take care of him for me. He's dead. And because I ignored him, I got a wonderful, glorious little citadel on that Iowa, who thinks he's giving me angle, but he's showing too much broadside because he wants all of his guns to bear on me. So I'm just going to keep lobbing shells at him, and you see how sharp my angle is. I don't have my back gun firing. I don't need to. Got 2 shells. Don't know how much damage I did. And they're starting to get away, and I don't actually want them to get away. So I am going full forward, and now I'm slowing down again because now they're visible and I'm starting to come around this corner. Now as I'm coming up on this corner, this is very important. I don't want to poke past the corner because I'm not entirely sure what's up there. If you look about dead center of the mini-map, there is another battleship out there. That's probably the other Iowa. I don't want to show him my flank. I've got both of these guys exactly where I want because they keep taking turns showing me their side, like the Iowa is right here, trying to get all of his guns to bear on me. Whereas I don't care. I'm just going to show my 2. And you can still see my hit points. That little scratch that I took earlier, that's the only damage they've done so far. Whereas I'm firing into their full broadsides like this. And somehow that didn't do any damage. But you can see their hit point pools are slowly starting to whittle down. Now I'm just creeping around up to the corner of this island, just so I don't lose visibility on them. Now if they stopped firing at this point, they could probably get away, reposition, turn around, whatever they needed to do. But they keep firing every salvo, especially this other Iowa, because you'll notice he keeps dropping off my visibility. Alright, another little 5,500. I'll keep chipping him away. But see, he's invisible now. I can't shoot at him. The only way I'm going to be able to shoot at him is if he takes a shot at me, like he just did. So every time he pops up, I know that he's shot at me. And it gives me a full vision on exactly where he's at. It's just, he's not learning his... I don't know what's going through his head. Aim a little high, he's starting to turn in. Maybe he's finally learned his lesson. I don't know. He's got that other battleship coming up on that right-hand side, so maybe he thinks he's got some help along the way. Nagato's giving me a little bit of an angle. Nope, there's the next salvo from the Iowa. Okay, so he's coming head on at me. Let's shoot at this Nagato. He's giving me a little bit of an angle. Again, like, yes, the Iowa's a lot lower, but if I shot at him, I'd basically do almost no damage. Whereas I got a nice 9,000 on that Nagato, which is going to keep pushing him back. So now I'm making it, you know, a one-on-one with this Iowa who's close to half health. And you'll note I have not burned a repair yet. Why would I? So I'm backing up because the Iowa's overcommitting. The Nagato's running for dear life the other way. He just missed his shots. The Iowa just missed his shots because I backed up again. And again, my flank's clear. There's no way they can punish me for this. Yeah, I'm just reversing. Now I finally have a North Carolina teammate who's slowly creeping up behind me and will hopefully give me some backup firepower. Now, you see what the Iowa's doing now. He's finally doing what he should have done from the very get-go and pointed his ship directly at me. Now, even looking at this right here, that's still, yeah, alright angling. I'll be hard-pressed to actually damage him if I shoot him. The Nagato's giving me a sharper angle, but he's so far away I'm going to get plunging damage on him. Plus, he's 2 tiers lower than me, so my guns are big enough that they should probably poke through. Yeah, not really. But there's a Kagero, and that's why that other Iowa started getting so brave all of a sudden. Now he thinks he has backup. Well, I got news for him. I'm backing up. I've got an island in between from the angle that Kagero's going. So I'm just going full reverse. I'm going to make the torpedo be as hard to hit as possible for that Kagero. Meanwhile, against this Iowa, he's got an angle. But you see how I do 3,700 damage right there. Why? Because I'm not shooting at his water line like he's trying to shoot at me. He's angled at me. He's got a great angle, and he's doing the right thing by doing that. So if you run into a battleship that's doing that, shoot at the superstructure. The superstructure is the part of the ship above the main hull, like all the towers and stuff like that. You'll see where these shells hit. Up on top of the ship, 5.8K. If those 2 battleships had been doing that the entire round, I would long have been dead. So now they've got it in their head that they're going to kill the North Carolina, which is not necessarily a bad tactic, except that it's already too late for them. Like, this Iowa is on low health. He's on fire. He's got 2 battleships that are getting very close, and there's another 4,500 because you see where my shells are hitting. They're hitting that superstructure at the top. North Carolina chips him for maybe about 2,000. He's repairing, but also burning, so it's kind of negating his repair. Man, he's screwed. I don't know, his repair's over, but so is the fire. Just checking my options here. He's so low, let's help finish him. Next salvo out, aiming at the top. Bad dispersion, but I still got 1,300. There he goes, he's finished. Alright. So, the Iowa is dead. That was the biggest threat around here. Except that Fubuki is still floating around here. And it has been about long enough that his torpedoes are back up, and you notice I'm detected that Nagato is squarely behind the island, so the Fubuki is definitely still around. So we'll take a nice little shot over the island at the Nagato, trying to hit on his superstructure, and bam, there you go. He lost one of his guns, took a nice 10K shot. That will definitely keep him from trying to come around this way. Now we're going to catch him running. The Fletcher's having a heyday trying to set him on fire. The Nagato is shooting at North Carolina. Yeah, see, they've committed. And there are the torpedoes from the Fubuki. You could just barely see them before I zoomed in there. But I have been changing my speed. See?
Torpedoes to port.
I'm going to easily outrun those. I'm not even interested in them anymore. Oh, poor North Carolina. You know, I appreciate that he came and helped, and him coming there and helping and distracting these 2 probably won us the game. If they continued on between the destroyer and those 2 battleships, they probably could have whittled me down or baited me out from around this island. Now I have no fear. And about now is when I say my cheekiest thing ever. I say, all right, Nagato, time to end this.
Torpedoes to port.
And he says, no thanks. Die type back. Where is it? There it is. You don't have a say in it. But that's about the end of the game. wasn't the most exciting, but that's exactly how you angle your armor and do a nose on. It can save you from a lot of suffering. I hope you guys learned something. Don't abuse that, please. Use it for when it's appropriate. We'll see you next time, guys. Have fun.